How was your music background when you started playing guitar? What was the guitar player that influenced you? And you started directly on electric guitar, or was it acoustic?
Actually, I had an older brother. He started to play bass. He had a bass guitar, so I started picking that up and trying to mess around and fiddle with it. And then he from the bass he got a guitar, and I started fiddling with that. So it was pretty much at a young age, maybe like 12, 12, 13, around there. I started fiddling with it, and I was just hooked. I just tried to learn some records of his. Like some Journey songs and whatnot. Then I started to get into the more heavier stuff. But that's how I started. But the guy, the one guitar player, my main guy, the one, James Hetfield.
Have you started playing in Strats, or did you already choose Les Pauls?
Oh, the Les Paul shapes. Yeah. I mean, I've tried I had like a Strat, not a Stratocaster, but one of those shape metal Strats. I tried them all, like the Vipers, the ESP Vipers, like the Telecasters, and I had a Flying V at one point, like the Randy Rhoads copy Flying V, and they all played great. But the Les Paul shape, the Eclipse, fits me more. It feels good. It looks good, it feels good, and I just like how it plays. So I settled with that. But who knows, in the future, I might want to try something a bit different this time around.
What do you think of the modern, so-called modern metal scene? Any band that caught your attention lately?
There's a lot of bands. It's kind of hard to keep up, but there's so many bands right now, and it's great that there's a lot of bands. There's a lot of great players. They're just doing all this crazy stuff on their instruments. Like, wow, man, how do you do that? Are you human? But there's quite a few bands. One band that I've really been getting into is Holy Grail. Holy Grail from Southern California. They're like really good metal, good singer, and the guitar players Eli and Alex are just the good shredders. So Holy Grail, and some of the younger bands like we did some shows with Warbringer. They're a really good today thrash band, and Havoc being one of them too. So those three: Warbringer, Holy Grail, and Havoc.
How do you see the music today where people can just download a bunch of songs? Back in the days, we had to meet someone that knew a band and had a CD or a LP, yeah, tape trade.
It's a different time now. I mean, of course, me being from the day, I like that way of finding out music, tape trading, but it's not that time. I mean, it's today's time. I mean, it's good and bad. I mean, the good thing about like the internet and downloading music is you could get that music instantly from around the world, where back then you would have to write a letter, wait a while, and get it, which to me it's kind of cool because that anticipation of getting it, waiting for it. And but downloading, it's a good and bad thing. It's kind of hard. It is what it is. But my personal thing is it's not going to go away. I mean, there's downloading, there's streaming. It has pros and cons. It's good and bad. So you just gotta adapt to the times, and just go with it. I mean, I look at it as a good thing because you could get, like I said, you could get your music out there much faster, and hopefully they'll like it enough where they come to the shows and support you, and hopefully buy a T-shirt and maybe buy the vinyl when they're at your shows.
Do you see any big difference of playing to the American audience and the European audience? What is the major difference?
Oh, there's a big difference. The European audience are more into it. As you can see from we played Portugal, Germany, and all that. They're very responsive. They're interactive with you. Everyone's there. The cheering and whatnot. You don't really get that in the U.S. And it's just a different vibe, I guess. I guess I don't know. It's. I mean, I could tell you the difference, but it's better if people come and experience. People from like I had a couple of friends from the U.S. who came to see us at a festival quite a few years ago, and they saw us at Grass Pop, and they understood why bands like to go out to Europe and tour. So, I mean, I could explain it to you, but I think it's better for someone to kind of experience going to a show or a festival out here to kind of see wide what the difference is between American and European audience.
By your own experience, what would be your advice for a kid trying to record something at home?
I think it'd be good. I mean, learn your instrument. I think when you learn it good enough where you can play some songs that you learn, I think the most important thing is maybe get together with a bunch of other musicians like you and just get better together. Because it's nowadays I've talked to people where a lot of bands or these new bands, they all live in different places. They write music, they send it through email, and they learn it, they figure it out, and with all the technology, you can cut and paste and put songs together, and then they get together and play. Which it's not that it's not bad, but I would suggest maybe get together in a room, lock yourself in a rehearsal room with some amps, and play together, write together, play your favorite songs together. Because there's nothing like that energy of looking at each other when playing, and making mistakes with each other and learning from it, and just growing as people and musicians. It's a really good feeling. You get to know them as a musician and a person, and it's good, and you gel much better that way.
Since I'm back there, a lot of guitar players are like scooping the mids and putting a lot of gain and just trying to maybe emulate that sound. Do you think it's good or bad? How does it affect the creation of heavy music?
It all depends on how you like your sound and what kind of sound your band wants. I used to be that way. I used to turn up the gain, scoop the mids, and kind of like hide behind the gain. But after a while, as I got older and done some few recordings, and like put up some mids, less gain, and try to attack harder on your hand, and you hear the clarity, and it makes you play better. You don't need to hide behind things, and so I like it that way now. Before I didn't, but there's other artists who like to scoop the mids and pump the game. It all depends on if you like that style and the style of music you play. If it requires that, then go for it.
We have to give room for the bassist.
Yeah, I mean, then bass. It's like, again, in the band, it's a team. Like you gotta find the sound. Because everyone, of course, wants to have their own sound. You know what I mean? This is my sound. I like it this way. But when you play in a band, you gotta find the sound that fits the overall sound. You can't just have it your way and some guitar. I mean, like, again, it depends on the band. You could have a band that have all guitars and little bass. Our band likes to have bass in there. It has to sit in there. So we're big fans of bass, that groove, especially bass and drums. You got to have that in there. So, but yeah, sometimes we in our band we figured out a way. We have a way where the guitars are right in your face and you can hear the bass coming right behind you.
How does it work, the process of making your music?
In Death Angel, Rob's the main songwriter. So what he does is he's pretty nocturnal dude. He's up late at night, so that's when he works the best. When he gets inspired, it's usually at night, so he writes. And usually when he gets a song done, him and Will, our drummer, will get together and they hash out all the ideas to get a basic skeleton. Then once that's done, he sends it to the rest of the guys, me, Damien, and Mark, and we learn it. Well, me and Damien learn it, then we get together with them and jam it together. And while we're doing that, Mark has the music, and he'll hide in the dark corners of the earth and write melodies and lyrics for it. So that's how it works for Death Angel.
Send a message for your Brazilian fans.
Brazilian fans, oh man, we are so looking forward to getting back out there. We haven't been back there. Last time we were there is October 2010. Played quite a few places, Curitiba, Sao Paulo, Brasilia. We had so much of a good time. We can't wait to get back. And if we do, it's going to be a great time. Obrigado.